My name is Peony. I'm 29 years old. Stuff no one talks about is all we talk about.
I think these are incontinence pads.
Oh, 1 in 3 women leak.
I want to go on Dragons Den is one of the main milestones I've written down in my diary when I was a child. Obviously, I didn't know I'll be talking about bladders and incontinence then, but I believe this is going to give me an opportunity to really speak out what I believe this world needs today. Hello, Dragons. My name is Peony. I founded We Are Jude. I'm on a mission to break body taboos and build a whole new category around bladder care. 2.3 billion people globally suffer from bladder issues. Pads and nappies normalize leaking by addressing an unwanted symptom, but don't actually resolve the underlying root causes of bladder health. That's why, with gynaecologists and Harvard Medical School professor, we brought to the market a bladder supplement that relieved the urge of needing to go to the toilet frequently in the day and at night. Thousands of women already joined our Facebook community in discussing their progress and improvements after Jude. Since our launch 17 months ago, we lifted the quality of life for 13,000 customers and generated 1.4 million in revenue. Having raised £5 million so far, we forecast to make £4 million of revenue in the next 12 months and conduct our own clinical trial to further enhance the efficacy of our supplements. We're also starting our retail journey with Boots, QVC, and Chemist Direct are currently in talks with them. Dragons, I'm asking for 100K for 1%. Imagine the billions of lives we can support and building this $50 billion category together. Thank you.
Products designed to help bladder issues are the offering of Peony Lee.
I can take the top one.
Yes, please.
Thank you.
She's asking for £100,000 in return for just 1% of her company, a number that retail giant Tuka Suleiman can't normally get on board with.
Good pitch.
Thank you.
Oh, 1%. Oh, doesn't agree with me, 1%. But anyway, let's just start this journey. So tell me about yourself first. I just want to know your background and how you got here.
I'm from Hong Kong. I came to the UK when I was 15 years old on my own. My first career is in investment banking in the city. My family is an entrepreneurial family in the healthcare space.
Interesting.
And so they've been working on incontinence and femcare issues for about 3 decades.
OK, so you've raised £5 million?
Yes, I did.
How did you raise £5 million?
I raised 2 million pre-seed round before I had a product, before I had a team. And at the end of last year, we raised another 2.7 million from investors, including the venture fund of Reckitt Benckiser, who owns Dettol, Nurofen, and Durex, also invested in Jude.
So just explain to me, this is a pad plus a supplement? Or just some pads, or what is it?
Sure. So on our website, we sell supplements.
Yep.
We sell a plant-based pads and liners, as well as a leak-proof underwear.
Right.
But 80% of our sales is from the supplements.
Right. So how does this help menopause?
One of the many symptoms of menopause is the loss of estrogen, having stress incontinence, and an overactive bladder. Women, especially in the menopausal stage, they have this urge to needing to go to the toilet. Either they're on the road, at work, or you're just right at your front door and you need to dash to the toilet. And so with our soy phytoestrogen and pumpkin seed extracts in our formula, our supplements relieve most of these symptoms.
Peony, hi.
Hi.
So, you haven't undergone clinical trials yet, which means that you're going to be limited on the claims that you can make on your packaging.
Sure. As you rightly say, the claims that we want to make on the packaging We need to obtain that by acquiring a traditional herbal remedies license. And once we have that, we have the right to put overactive bladder frequency and urge and with our brand across Europe.
So hold on a minute, the bit you're embarking on at the moment.
Yeah.
What claims can you and can't you make?
Sure.
Because it's great, everything you're saying is great, but unless you can tell the consumer, then you're just the same as all the other stuff that we can get out there.
We can tell that this supplement relieves overactive bladder symptoms, and it also supports stress incontinence.
So relief as opposed to cure.
With supplements, unless you run a multiple site, 20,000 people trial with hospitals, you can't say
No,
cure.
that's the difference between clinical trials and the trials that you're undergoing at the moment.
So what we're undergoing is pilot clinical trials versus the billion-dollar pharmaceutical company trials that they will be running. They can start claiming cure and treat. What we can do is relief, support, quote the clinical trial studies in terms of the percentages of efficacy that we deliver.
So, how unique is this product? Are there other products from vitamin specialists, for example, claiming to be able to help bladder support?
Sure. Currently, we see brands that have pumpkin seed extracts. Their claims that they make is not as focused as the claims that we make online.
So, why do you think leading vitamin companies haven't developed a product in this space?
I believe it's because they weren't aware how many people are actually suffering from this issue.
Do you think that? Because I was surprised when you claimed 1 in 3 women leak. I am in that postpartum phase, as are most of my friendship group. It's definitely not 1 in 3 of my group. It is way more than 1 in 3. And it's a problem that we openly talk about. If it is as easy as supporting it with vitamins, why are the leading vitamin companies not already going down this route?
So I believe they didn't have the knowledge that they can, and now they can come into the space.
So how long do you think it will take them to bring a competitive product to market?
I would say about 1.5 years they would be able to come in. But throughout these 18 months, we want to be #1 recommended by urologists and urogynecologists.
Peony,
Yes.
you mentioned that you come from an entrepreneurial background.
Yeah, my parents started 3-4 businesses when I was young. And I didn't quite understand why they do what they do and why they're obsessed with what they do. Coming to the UK and doing my own career, step by step, I discovered the only way to put your ideology across in the world is to build your own business. So Jude is the result of that.
And your parents today, they still working, still busy with businesses?
Sorry, I don't know why I'm emotional.
That's okay.
Well, because you care, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's really nerve-wracking being here. That's all right. Take a second and...
Take your time.
I really didn't expect I would cry. I thought I might leak a little bit. I didn't know I would cry. Yeah, it's emotional when I talk about my parents because I didn't know at a young age what they were doing. I left home really early. And now it's a way to reconnect with my roots and what they were trying to build. So I'm extremely passionate about the space, not just because of the billions of lives that I can serve, but also understanding, I suppose, my brought up.
Peony, I have to say, you are a superstar.
Thank you.
You really are a superstar. I actually started giggling to myself at one point because I was thinking to myself, I just wish Peony was running all of my companies. I think I'd be much more successful if I was like, how do I offer her a job in everything that I do? No, you're just a superstar. Obviously, that's a huge part of why someone would invest, but it's not the only part of why someone would invest. And the mission you're on is an important mission. When people become more aware, and when that awareness grows, so does the competitor set. That is my fear here. So I'm going to say that I'm out, but I wish you the very, very best, and thank you for inspiring me today.
Thank you.
Peony, I think this is absolutely a space where there is opportunity. I think you are totally attacking it the right way. My concern would be competitors in the space. But the big thing for me, to quote a very wise man, is that I just don't want to get out of bed for 1%. So for that reason, I'm not going to invest today, and I'm out.
This is a difficult one because you are one of the most credible entrepreneurs to have come in the den.
Thank you.
But for a few percent, I'm not going to invest. For that reason, I'm out.
Thank you.
You present really well, and I don't even need to tell you that. I think you probably know how good you are because you've raised how much have you raised so far?
5 million.
5 million. But I have to say, the valuation is a real issue for me. And then I thought, but I'm a dragon. You're a grown-up. I can make you an offer, and it can either work for you or it cannot work for you. But I am going to make you an offer. And I'm going to offer you all of the money. So that is £100,000. And I want 3% of the business.
Thank you.
You've been told over and over again, you're very, very impressive. I understand that you really get startup culture because I look at this branding, I look at the way that it's all put together and it's like a 10 out of 10. You know that there's one flaw because you're so smart. You're coming here offering 1%. 1% for 100 grand. And anyone is going to want more of this business to be involved because we all know there's a long way to go. So I have to match Deborah's offer. I'll give you the 100 grand, but I need 3% of the business.
Thank you.
Peony, you've made it clear that you need this to be a mission. I'd really like to go on the journey with you. But I actually think that the journey, it will be better not just with one. And I think you have a possibility of almost getting 3 musketeers. So I'm going to do something slightly different. And it all is down purely whether Deborah and Emma are even interested. So my offer to you would be that I will give you 1/3 of the money for 1%.
Emma, Deborah?
Well, I guess the question is whether or not any of the deals in front of you are potentially acceptable.
And I'm going to just tell you straight up. My name is Emma Greedy. I would much prefer to keep it to myself. Sorry, Peter, don't want to be rude. I know I'm a guest in this den, but I'll just tell you, at the end of the day, power's always with the founder, right? That's up to you. But I'll tell you what I prefer.
Okay, so that deal can't happen. So I'll offer you 100,000, all of the money, and I'll do it for 3% as well.
If I don't have our previous investors, I would definitely say yes to the deal. But I would love to counter-propose and offer 100K for 1.5%.
Peony, when I invest, I like to follow that investment. It's never about the cash. It's about the time and the energy that I put into that investment. So at that level, it's just one step too far. I'm out.
Peony, you drive a hard bargain for a large amount of money, and the kind of return, that's a really tough ask. So I'm going to say that I'm out.
Here's the thing, Peony. I really respect you, and I respect the point of view of protecting your investors. But by the same token, you know the difference somebody like me could make in your business. You know it. But but it doesn't come for free and it doesn't come cheaply. And at 1.5%, I just can't make it make sense. So I'm afraid that I'm out.
Thank you so, so much.
Thank you, Peony.
Good luck.
Thank you, bye.
Despite a trio of offers, Peony exits the den empty-handed, leaving behind a collection of dragons perplexed by the entrepreneur's thought process.
She's completely discounted the value that not just we bring to her, but we bring to her other investors. Surely her other investors would be delighted.
I just don't understand that decision. I reckon she's walked out there and she regrets that.
100%.
I think the Dragons will regret not investing. I know that Jude is going to be a massive company, and the valuation then is going to be more than enough to return what they've invested today. That is my firm belief.